Hello interwebs and welcome to my channel. So for this video, I want to quick give an update on the scammer situation, let you know where everything is, and just try and be as transparent as I possibly can in this situation. Because, as I stated before in numerous videos, I am so incredibly thankful for all of you really helping me in my moment of need and helping me recoup the losses from the scammers in order to directly pay for my upcoming gender confirmation surgeries that I have coming up March 11th of 2020. So I think at the time this video goes up, it'll be in about a week when that surgery will be happening. And I honestly, like I said before in several videos already, I am so incredibly moved and thankful and truly touched by the kindness of this community, of the Trek community, of the geek community, of the LGBTQ community, all the communities coming together to really help me out. And I can't tell you how much it honestly changed my life. You know, the scammers took so much away from me, not just money, but my sense of security and well-being and belief in myself and belief in the world. And even though it only lasted for a few days, thankfully, because of you, it was really hard. It was a really difficult few days for me emotionally. And the fact that you gave me all that back, just with your kindness and gratitude, or my gratitude towards you, just truly, it really means the world to me. And with that being said, you know, while the thing that is going to stick with me and be most important to me throughout this entire process is the kindness that all of you showed, just the actual kind words and kind thoughts that you gave me, I am also very well aware that so many of you gave me money and gave to my GoFundMe to help me fund my surgery. And within that, I do feel a certain amount of responsibility and desire to make sure that I am as open and transparent in this process as I possibly can, because I just want to let you all know that your money and your giving went to a good place, and it directly went to a good place, and that I'm doing everything in my power to make sure that I honor that and follow up on that. That's just something that I want to make sure that I do, because like I said, while it wasn't my fault that the scammers took from me, it was the scammers' fault, I do feel responsibility for your giving and your kindness, and I want to make sure I honor that very directly. So, in that vein, I'm just going to quick give an update on where everything is and what my plans are moving forward in terms of the scammers, at least as much as I can be forthcoming on that, just given that it's an open investigation into something that is a criminal activity. So I don't want to, there's only so much that I can personally say, also to protect my own privacy as well, but up to that point, I want to be open and honest. And to be honest, really, there's not a ton to say at this point about it, but I at least just want to give an update on where everything is at. First up, like I said in my first video, I have filed a police report with the police in Culver City. This event did happen in Culver City. I won't say which bank, and I won't say, you know, where it's near my work or area or anything like that, just again to protect my privacy and where I work and where I live. But it did happen in Culver City, California, in Los Angeles. And so I filed a police report with the Culver City Police, and I have spoken with the detective on the case, and he is currently working with Bank of America to get video footage of the scammers. They are on camera, at least one of them is, because one of them came into the bank with me, and there were several cameras in there. So hopefully, theoretically, he is on camera, and we may be able to use facial recognition software in order to figure out who this person is. I don't know for sure on that. It may not pan out. He may not, you know, his face may not be recognized even if we can get a good look at him. So I'm not necessarily sure that that's a guarantee in anything, but at least we can have some leads and information on him. The other lead and piece of information that we might be able to follow up on, that I either may do on my own volition or with the detective, depending on what the detective wants to do. The check that they gave me was for a real business that exists in a state. I'm not going to give out the information on it because, again, I'm not entirely sure legally where everything lies with the detective, and I also don't necessarily want anyone out there in my audience, not that I don't trust you and love you, but also just contacting them and maybe muddling the investigation or anything like that. Like I said, it's not that I don't trust you or love you or think about you, but I also just want to make sure that, you know, I follow the proper channels in this respect. But it was from a real business, even though the check was bounced and it was a fake check. So there are several things that it could be. It could be that the check was at one time real and that this place, this business, has since, closed the account, or the checks were all canceled and when like someone stole this checkbook, or someone just used a real business somewhere and put it on a fake check. There are numerous things. I don't necessarily know the details of it. I do know that the check bounced and that it was a fake check, but I don't know if what that necessarily means from the bank's perspective, that it was fake, whether it was just like real at one point. That's part of the investigation process. We're learning about that right now, but that's up here coming up. So that's another avenue for leads for investigation. Again, I'm sorry, I can't really be as specific as possible, but that's a potential avenue, because maybe they can tell us where they lost their checks, or maybe they even know these people, or at the very least they might be able to help, push the detective to make sure things get done, because they're involved in this too, and they have a vested interest in wanting to find these people, because if, their name's being dragged into this, I'm sure they kind of want to not ruin their business's name because of this. Not that I would do that. I don't blame them in any way, shape, or form. But, you don't necessarily want to be involved with criminal activity, and even if it's not something that you had any direct knowledge of. So I may have an ally in them through this situation. Those are two potential avenues of investigation, and it might lead us to catching these people. Fingers crossed, hopefully. And if, we do catch them, then, they'll be ordered to give restitution, that sort of thing, and I'll be able to get my money back that way. The other thing that, again, just to be transparent as possible, I have gotten a copy of the police report, and I have linked a copy of it down below, just for any of you out there who just want to, just check the veracity of what I'm stating, that, I did file an actual police report with the Culver City Police Department. The version that is in the down below, the linked version that I have, I did redact some stuff, like, hide some information. All of that information that is hidden is just like, protecting my privacy. Like, there's my home address, the address of the bank, the name of the bank teller that I talked to is in there as well as the descriptions of the people that were the scammers. Mostly, not that I necessarily really want to protect the scammers in any way, shape, or form, but I'm not necessarily of the legality at this point of sharing out specific information on these people, so I'll just state that they are male. Or at least they were guys. I don't necessarily know their, their sex or gender identity, but they at least presented as male. And so that's about all the information I'm going to give on them, at least at this point, just because, again, I don't know the legalities on sharing other people's information at this point in the investigation, at the very least. But yeah, I've just hidden a few things on that form, but it is a police report, so I have filed one. You can check it out if you're at all curious. That file is linked in the down below. And then the other avenue that I have gone down with the scammers is I have filed a fraud claim with the bank. Now, there is a possibility that the bank may accept responsibility for this event, mostly on the back of the fact that the teller told me that it was going to be okay. I asked her questions. I talked about that in a previous video. You can go check out, the stuff that I asked her. But there might be some element of responsibility on the bank teller in this situation for not being entirely accurate and not protecting me as best as she could given the situation. But so we'll go down that avenue, and I may be able to get reimbursed for my money through the bank that way. That one I am even less hopeful for than the actual criminal investigation, just because, given the whole situation, I've gone into detail on it. More than likely, with fake check schemes, when it's not like a credit card or debit card or anything like that, with fake check schemes, and this is why people who do fake check schemes, is that it mostly falls on my shoulders, responsibility-wise. That's just how the law and legality works out. There is a chance that it might not, and there's a chance that maybe even if it is my responsibility, the bank is kind. I don't necessarily trust, in big corporate banks to be kind in that way. But you never know. I might get some kind bank employee on a good day who is willing to help me out in that respect. So, that is an avenue I'm going down. I won't hear back from them. Last I heard, their investigation will take about 60 to 90 days. We'll sort of see how that plays out. But yeah, it'll take up at least 60 to 90 days for that to at least me to hear back about that. But that is an avenue that I'm going down. I'm hopefully going to try and push on them to, pay me back the money in that sense, in that way. But, that's the other avenue that I've gone down and tried to push on. And that's really about all I can do at this point. Like I said, I'm not going to give up on it. I'm going to keep pushing on it, especially because, like I said, I do feel a sense of responsibility towards everyone out there who gave to me. So I I want to make sure that I'm doing everything I can to honor your kindness and fight and push and try and catch these guys as best I can. And also just to, catch the people who did this to me, because, it sucks. It was a really, really crappy thing to do to me, to anybody. And, I want to make sure that they're caught, at least try to make sure that they're caught. But we'll sort of see what happens. There's no guarantee in any way, shape, or form that I will be able to get my money back, but it is possible, and I'm going to do everything I can to do that. And like I said, and I'll reiterate it here, if I do get the money back, in either through the bank or through the investigation and catching these guys, I'm going to reach out to everyone who gave to my GoFundMe up to the first $5,000. My GoFundMe has gone a little bit past the first $5,000, but everyone up until the first $5,000 that were given on my GoFundMe campaign, I'll reach out to everyone after that point and offer to give you your money back if I get my money back. And you'll be repaid that way if you so desire. And if you don't want your money back, then any money that is left over from once I give people their money back will go directly towards a trans charity. I haven't picked one yet. I'll probably pick it if and when that happens. I'll do my investigation into seeing which charity would be the best and which feels right for me. But none of the money that I get back from this point on, if I get any more money from this scammer situation, again, either through the investigation or through the bank, either way, I'm not going to keep any of it. It's either going to go back to the people who gave me on my GoFundMe, or it is going to go to a charity. So I just want to make that very, very clear. If, for example, you still want to try and help me out financially in some way, shape, or form, and sort of directly help me with my surgery, or help me, do this as a full-time job eventually, doing YouTubing as a full-time job, which would be, my dream, my hope. If you do want to help out in those respects, I do have a PayPal, I do have a Patreon, so please give there if you do want to help me more directly. But I'm not going to be accepting any more donations on my GoFundMe. So I hope that explanation was sort of a good explanation of everything for you. If you have any more questions or concerns or thoughts, leave them down in the comments. I'll try and address them as I can. But like I said, I just really want to be as transparent and open throughout this whole process as I possibly can. And one other thing that I'll quick mention too is I am going to be talking about my surgery. I have another specific video that is going to go up, I think, the week or 2 weeks after my actual surgery date. That'll be talking about everything, and also be the big reveal of me post-surgery. There'll be some videos that I'll pre-record in between that, but there will be a sort of big video reveal of me post-surgery and me talking about my feelings about the surgery. So be on the lookout for that, and that'll be a much more joyous discussion about my surgery and things going into that. So I hopefully you'll be looking out for that video. Just one last wrap-up note. I probably will not be doing another video on the scammers until something actually happens, like we catch them, or I get the money back from the bank, or there's like a piece of information I can release to the public that may help in some way. Like maybe if, I might not do this, but like maybe releasing the photo of the person, seeing if anyone knows who they are. Again, I'll be talking with the detective about the efficacy of that, or whether that's the right thing to do. But, those will probably be the only videos that I make going forward on this topic, but I will be trying to be as transparent and as open as possible. But until those sort of big events happen, I don't want to necessarily leverage this situation for more views or anything like that by making like small incremental updates. So those are probably going to be where the next big milestone videos will be on this topic. All right, thank you so much for watching. Hope that this was helpful for anyone who had any questions or concerns or just thoughts or just wanting to know more about what the situation was. I thank you very much. Like I said, it is so meaningful for me to be part of this community and just see the kindness and gratitude. I keep saying gratitude, but I mean my gratitude, but just seeing the kindness and thoughtfulness and caring that all of you shared with me. There's this weird thing, and I'll talk about this in another video later, but now that my surgery is so inevitably tied to this event, it kind of makes it more beautiful in a weird way. As crappy as the scammers were, the fact that my surgery is now being done on the kindness of all of you makes it mean that much more, even on top of how much it already meant to me. So thank you to all of you for all of that. It really, truly, truly means the world to me. And, the final YouTube prayer, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to give me my Patreon or PayPal if you want to. And as always, I hope that you live long and prosper. And special thanks to my commander level and above Patrons: Eli Berg-Moss, Stephen Schuthart, Boyd and Marybeth Earl, Michael McGee, Lal Lindley, Wellington Marcus, Inar Sigurdsson, Marika Kwiechin, Munir Amlani, Mari Nekar, and Polly Mina.